Here comes trouble, putting on a show. Like a domino, I fall. Another bottle, don't know what to say. Send me on my way to you. I know you're all that I want, but I don't even know your name. So don't go and leave me lonely. I'll show you another way. And you say it's a one-night thing, but I want something more than that. So don't go and leave me lonely. I'll show you another way. So don't go and leave me lonely. I'll show you another way. Eyes wide open, holding out for you. Tell me that it's true. Oh, did you notice? I saw you over there, looking like a heartbreaker. I know you're all that I want, but I don't even know your name. So don't go and leave me lonely. I'll show you another way. And you say it's a one-night thing, but I want something more than that. So don't go and leave me lonely. I'll show you another way. So don't go and leave me lonely. I'll show you another way. Hold me close till I get up. Time is barely on our side. I don't wanna waste what's left. The storms we chase are leading us, and love is all we'll ever trust. Yeah, no, I don't wanna waste what's left. And on we'll go, through the wastelands, through the highways, till my shadow turns to sun rays. And on we'll go, through the wastelands, through the highways. And on we'll go. No, I don't want no rest. Echoing around these walls, fighting to create a song. I don't wanna miss a beat. And on we'll go, through the wastelands, through the highways, till my shadow turns to sun rays. And on we'll go, through the wastelands, through the highways, and on we'll go. And we'll grow in number, fueled by them to see the horizon, turn us to thousands. And we'll grow in number, fueled by them to see the horizon, turn us to thousands. And on we'll go, through the wastelands, through the highways, till my shadow turns to sun rays. And on we'll go, through the wastelands, through the highways, and on we'll go.
Introducing Samra Origins. My collaboration with Nespresso is a connection.
And we're live.
Hey, everybody. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Those down in the comments, let us know you can hear us.
Hair's doing weird things. Humidity's not helping.
Patrick, I'm sunburnt. Won't woo. All right. We good? We good? Claiming my bonuses for being in the stream and watching. And of course, as soon as I go live, my burgers are done.
Oh, of course. Absolutely.
Oh, whoever Sharon Crow is, thank you.
Hello. Thank you very much.
That's the Halloween bride.
Oh, okay.
Hi.
He's he came running back.
Yeah, she did.
Yeah, between her and Julie, I'm fucking craving burgers now myself. I may make one once the stream's over. I got a little bit of hamburger left over. So, right? DoorDash for the win, absolutely.
I had leftovers and they were good.
I was gonna say, there's nothing wrong with leftovers. There's some leftovers, they're better than when you made them fresh.
Yeah. Shockingly, I've had problems with like reheating gluten-free pasta in the past. It's one of the reasons I don't do a lot of pasta, but this warmed up pretty well and it was just as good as last night.
Mm.
Hey, Trisha.
Pat, I'm nearly done the basic shading on the new logo, Patrick. And once that's done, I can do the more detailed shading, and then it'll be good to go. So I'm on the home stretch. Oh, I forgot about the follower goal. I wanted to look into customizing. I feel very technological. I've got 3 screens surrounding me. I'm very fancy right now.
I have my big tablet. That's the one I'm like chatting on with everyone. And then I have my phone. Then I have another one for if I need it for anything.
You have 4? Oh, okay, now I'm jealous. I've got my iPad right here with the stream live. I've got the desktop right here, and I've got the laptop with all of the submissions. So a little fancy. I'm not quite Minority Report, but I'm getting there. Oh, don't be showing that on the camera, making me
Well,
jealous.
and then I have this, okay, and eventually I'm going to be able to have behind this laptop 3 screens vertical.
Nice.
Plus I have my lovely arm with my phone, and then I
Hey,
also have my iPad here.
hey, Izzy,
Uh-huh.
you go in and toggle off that auto thing because you're blurry.
I did. I wonder if
Oh.
it redid it. It redid it. There we go.
Yeah, you look much better. So you're
That's a lot
full
better.
minority. You're fully Minority Report. Then you got that. That's awesome.
Yes, yes. And Siren Crow in the comments is the bounce off IT person that I go to going, okay, question. If I can't figure it out, I go to the Halloween bread.
God, I was saying earlier, between you and Julie stealing all these fucking burgers, I'm gonna have to make one when I get off stream.
Hey, mine was
Just getting
Sonic. I did not make my burger. If I made my burger would taste awesome.
It's not
I,
about making them. It's just for the fact that you have them. Because I had a chicken burger earlier, and by a chicken burger I mean I made a chicken burger patty, and then I ate the patty like it was a giant chicken nugget.
Right.
But now you're making me want a hamburger, and I've got a little bit of hamburger in the fridge that needs to be used up anyway. So I'm probably gonna do that after the stream.
Actually, if you like noodle salad, I'll send you a recipe.
What? Noodle salad? What the fuck is noodle salad? Don't give me that face.
You don't know what noodle salad is.
No. Is it kind of like potato salad where it's not really salad?
Them fighting words here in the South.
Look, if it don't have lettuce in it, it ain't salad.
This has lettuce in it. It's
You
known
said
as
it was
a
noodle salad.
it's known as a Big Mac noodle salad.
Oh, okay. Okay.
So my cucumber salad isn't a salad then, because I don't put lettuce in it, but it's cucumbers, onions, tomatoes, feta or goat cheese, and some type of like vinaigrette dressing.
See, there's actually a word for that. It's a not ceviche. No, ceviche has acid in it. I'm gonna let
I
Izzy
mean,
talk.
Well, I beg to posit that salad does not have to have lettuce in it because there is such a thing called fruit salad that
Yeah,
very
I don't consider
rarely
that a salad either. That's a cocktail.
salad implies lots of different things put together.
I will die. I will die on this hill. I don't care. Y'all can call it what you want. For me, if it don't have lettuce in it, it ain't salad.
What
And
is the definition of a salad?
then we
uh-oh.
got these fucking desserts where it's just Cool Whip and pineapple and cherries. Like that ain't salad.
A cold dish of various mixtures of raw or cooked vegetables, usually seasoned with oil, vinegar, or other dressing, and sometimes accompanied by meat, fish, or other ingredients. Now, that says specifically
Vegetable.
vegetables.
So cashews would be a vegetable. I'll let go of the lettuce part, but a salad needs veggies. It needs veggies. I honestly I think it comes from my grandmother putting these bowls of dessert. She does like the weird candy sweet stuff where it's just whipped cream and a bunch of weird odds and ends. There was one that had raisins in it. I felt fucking nauseous. It was like, no, that's not salad. That's not salad.
What's that say?
Okay. There salad. Definition 1, any of various, usually cold dishes, such as raw greens, such as lettuce, often combined with other vegetables and toppings and served especially with dressing. B, small pieces of food, such as pasta, meat, fruit, or vegetables, usually mixed with a dressing, such as mayonnaise or set in gelatin. A green vegetable or herb grown for salad, especially lettuce, or usually incongruous mixture, hodgepodge. So, word salad,
Yes.
Oh,
incongruous.
fucking I read the word gelatin and my stomach twisted. No.
Sorry.
No, don't apologize. It's not your fault. I don't do Jello. Jello and gelatin, the texture for it, just I will happily die on this hill. I don't care if I'm the only one on it. I will stay on it. I don't care. I'll cling to my little flag. I don't give a fuck.
We'll forgive you. You're
Yeah,
Canadian.
yeah. But it does make me sad that I can't do gelatin or Jello or any kind because like all of, like oh they okay 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 hang on now.
Please
It's
remember,
not my side. It's a
please
cultural thing.
remember, the Halloween bride is married to a Canadian. Please remember, she's got a little room to talk.
Oh my god. But no, I do feel a little disappointed that I can't do the Jello thing because like my friends will get together and they'll do the Jello shots and they get fucking hammered and I'm like I can't do it. It won't go past my gag. I can't. The texture just nope. Get
That much
that
room. Okay,
Oh
we've been
god.
having some fun today, and we also got a little bit of a deer in the headlights situation, right? So last year when we created the name, right? Julie and I workshopped back and forth, spent 6 to 8 hours, and came up with "Hold My Pen" because we be rednecks, and hold my beer turned into hold my pen. And then next thing you know, hey, we should do some author interviews. Hey, we should do book release parties. We tried to get one going, didn't work out in our favor. We put an interest form on our Beacons page, and we did get a lot of hits right away. We may have had a fairy godmother who told a bunch of people to fill one out, but then crap happened because the majority of us are in the United States. We had this little election and then this little inaugural day and a United States based blackout, and you know, some shit has happened, right? One of our hosts had an emergency surgery right before four of us went to Green Bay for a book event. So we've been slacking. Our apologies. Completely our fault, mea culpa. There we go. But this afternoon, somebody that we don't know found our form and filled it out. So this has been the kick in the pants. We're going to start workshopping it, figuring it out with our team and our trusted confidants, and we're going to figure out where we go from here, especially now that we've come over to Twitch, right? Because that was when we were back on TikTok. That was before we made the jump, and you guys have severely helped us with building this platform, understanding it, getting us to affiliate status. We do have an ad starting at about 5 minutes, and that's perfect timing. So all the things, right? You guys have helped us with figuring out Scuff, learning the area, and of course, the writing and reading Twitch community has been so very helpful. They are not gatekeeping anything whatsoever. They're telling us, hey, if you need advice, just hit us up. And you know, Julie and I have hung out in some streams. We've learned about rating. Apparently, that is a good thing. If you ask my
Wait,
middle spawn, it is an awful thing. I go, it might be an awful thing in the gaming communities over here on
it's
Twitch,
not.
but not in the writing. Only on here, right? So, and it's a community. And what I have found surfing Twitch in the last couple of years, and specifically the last couple of months, is that it is a community, right? Always willing to help out. Remember how we were all talking? I'm not competing for Julie's readers. I'm not competing for Char's readers. We're not competing for readers because we can only write so fast, right? And Twitch seems to have that same mentality. We're not competing. Rising tide lifts all ships, right? So keep a lookout for some additional wait, why are oh, okay. I thought that might be that thunder was coming in really, really fast, but apparently it was just thunder from inside Char's nose.
I was about to say, can you hear that from over here? I mean,
No,
we just had a clap, but it's like,
Right?
I'm muted.
Oh, I know, but the way you were looking up, like I thought you
Well,
were freaking out because you saw something out the window.
no, no. Looking up helps the sneeze hit faster.
Mm. So that's our Izzy talking too long,
Well,
making
you
an
got 2.5
announcement.
more minutes to fill.
I do. I do. I
I'm
have
trying to
been
figure out
hard
my
at work
timing.
writing all week. I have managed to get 1,700 words. However, they are not in one scene. They are dispersed among everything as I've been going through and getting better acquainted with my characters and actually learning the kids. Yeah.
Counts.
So there's three children thus far. Technically there's five children in my book, but the three Ashford children are more important right now in the beginning than the Donnelly children. So, um, yeah, I don't know if I will be submitting. If I do, you'll have to come back tonight or tomorrow night for that.
I mean, I only submitted just this afternoon because I spent the week developing the villains for the dark fantasy that I've been working on, which apparently is going to include a vast amount of body horror because one of the villains is a literal eldritch horror and is playing into my muzzle kink apparently.
Okay. Okay.
So I literally spent the last few days drawing him and working out what he looks like and having a lot of fun drawing basically, teeth and eyeballs and extra limbs and all that good stuff.
There we go. I did want to make mention. I had a conversation with a new author who just released their debut book in April, and I'm gonna put his name. You said horror, and so that just really hit me, right? Um, in the comments, I've just put his name. He's local to my area, and it is he said that he writes horror and silliness, and I told him that my writing group is dragging me into horror, kicking and screaming. To which he replied, I'll save you a seat. So this really does sound like our kind of people. We'll get into that other stuff, but if you're into horror, if you're into historical fiction, it does look really good. I'm even really, really like interested in getting it. So just figured I'd do a shameless plug. He's not asking me to do any of that, but his name is
Yeah,
Del Suede,
yeah.
and now I can't remember what the title is. Hold on, let me put it out there. Bada bing. Bada bing. It is in our Discord underneath promos. That's something that I also wanted to remind.
Is it Beyond the
Ooh.
Gates?
Beyond the Gates. There it is. Yes. Oh God. Char, I'm gonna have nightmares. I'm gonna have nightmares.
But look how pretty with the muzzle. Look
Yep.
how pretty with the muzzle. Very pretty.
Oh my goodness.
Adorable.
Very pretty.
Well, and I will say this, Siren, as far as horror, from what I saw of the blurb of this book, it's more psychological horror. Has to do with a asylum in 1887 in London. So I mean, it's more psychological thriller horror kind of thing. So I didn't sleep until I finished it. Yeah, well, just wait till get clued into the lovely French toast joke.
Oh God.
Oh
Yeah.
man, that's just
He's
no. Why is he so spicy? He not spicy.
very spicy. His name's Callum. I'm fond of him.
You realize that my hot, sexy second brother of the Connors is named Callum.
I did not know that. I'll have to change his name then because we don't need to discourage.
We got Char and Izzy naming characters the same names. I love
Okay.
it.
Okay, all my characters all my adult characters in the Blood trilogy are physically in my head based off actors. Okay. So, I how they move or whatnot, that's what I use it. Okay. So Callum is based off of Captain Hook from Once Upon a Time.
Oh, you mean the only reason I watched?
Yes.
Well, no, that's not true. Him and Rumpelstiltskin were the two reasons I watched.
Rumpelstiltskin. Rumpelstiltskin is amazeballs.
He's sexy. I don't care.
Mhm.
The lizard does it for me. I don't give a fuck.
Yep.
But no, luckily for Izzy, I literally just made him up, and I'm not attached to the name Callum in any way. It was a placeholder. I needed to call him
Placeholder.
something besides dude.
Trisha, way to go. Nervash, A Vampire's Tale will be out as an audiobook in a few weeks. Fantastic.
Yay!
As soon as you got the link, drop it in the promo channel over in the Discord so that way I can add it to the newsletter.
Man, between you and Patrick, we're getting the audiobooks out finally. It's awesome.
That is awesome. And for reference, let me look at this cover. That's the book that Trisha's talking about. My corner is a little dinged. We're gonna ignore that. It traveled to Green Bay and back.
It traveled to Green Bay and back and made it back in one piece. Let's just go with the fact.
Yes,
Right?
yes.
Yeah, I was driving. That's why.
That's why it made it back in one piece, because Kesh was driving and I was not.
I would love to get my Mafia series made into an audiobook. I need to look into doing that at some point.
I have a feeling none of my books will be in audio until probably 5 years out, because I need to get more of each part of the series is done to make it even worthwhile to have the audiobooks out. So
I mean, the beauty of the way I've got my book set up is I can change narrators with each book since it's a different couple every time. Or I
right,
could stick with one.
with mine, unfortunately, I'm gonna have to have somebody who is willing to do not, especially for the Four Queens and Four Kings series and the Dustin Chronicles. I'm gonna have to have the same audiobook narrator for those. You wanna know why? Read the book.
Smart ass.
Well, better be a smartass than a dumbass.
I mean, really,
Yeah,
my only
side note, Siren had put in a link, and
yeah.
it didn't show, and that is because in order to protect everybody, we have links turned off in our chat. Moderators and editors can put in links, but that's thus far that's it. And Siren understands, and no offense taken, because I was in her husband's chat and feed and giving feedback, and we were talking about all the protections and what kind of level of shit we can do.
Yeah.
And I have it texted to me now because yes,
There you
Siren and I know each other real life, just like me and Kesh in person. And so I shall share. We like local and indie authors. Now, here's something else that my kiddo found out a couple months, weeks, I don't know, ago. Check in with your local libraries. See if they would be willing to take local authors, donate your book. Okay. Because we need to give the libraries all the love in the world because of what's happening.
Right.
They were
So
already treated terribly before that.
exactly. And it's getting worse. So we need to ramp up our efforts. But that being said, we are almost to the half-hour mark. We've got all of our announcement type stuff out of the way. Yes, it's some bullshit. Yeah, make sure they have a donation system. That's why I said, Stavros, ask and see what they've got. Right? Please let me know if Julie comes back in and needs a new invite. All right. So we're going to get started. We do already have 6 submissions. Julie and I do not know if we're going to get something in. But to refresh your memory, this week's prompt was to use this dialogue or some semblance thereof. Pull up. And it was submitted by our very own Dahlia McEachern, who just recently launched her book, Trapped by Addiction, Book 2, that she has published. Here's the dialogue. Hold on. I got some sketchy shit to do. And up first is our lovely vacationing, camping, spending time with his family, PA Power. We're going back to gargoyles, people. Chapter 18, Lineage. Scott sat at the professor's kitchen table, the steam from his coffee curling upward as he stared into it like it held answers. Amanda sat to his left, silent but alert. Professor Lynn moved about the kitchen, her calm, deliberate motions oddly grounding. Scott broke the silence. Feels like just yesterday you and I were sitting here, Professor, having our own little heart to heart. Lynn looked over her shoulder, one brow raised. You mean the night you stormed in here during a storm, dripping wet and raving about bloodlines and stone tablets? A small smile tugged at Scott's lips. Yeah, that one. Amanda turned toward him, curious. You've been researching this longer than I thought. Scott nodded, then leaned forward, his voice quieter. You want to know how deep this goes? He looked between them both, then back to Professor Lynn. Let me remind you. 1 year ago. Scott slammed a folded parchment down on the professor's table, the corners damp from his jacket. He was breathing hard, eyes wild, like the truth had chased him into the room. Slow down, Scott, Professor Lynn said, hands raised and calm. I can't understand what you're rattling off. Professor, you know my family is tied to Castle Dunluce. We've been researching it for years, she replied. You've been helping since you were 18. I swear, the older I get, I hear things. The Moors, they talk. Her expression shifted slightly. What kind of things? Voices, stone grinding against stone, wings, huge wings, beating down the air so hard I feel it in my bones. She leaned against the table, arms crossed. Scott, I think you're just in tune with the lore. The castle's history is rich, yes, but your mind could be filling in gaps. Don't worry. Back then, people believed in magic because they didn't understand science. He shook his head, trembling. No, it's more than that. Oh? I've done my own research. And? She replied flatly. You say that so coldly. I'm not being cold. I'm a professor, Scott. Years of experience have made me cautious. I'm curious what you think you found. Scott reached into his jacket pocket and retrieved a stone tablet the size of a paperback. He placed it beside the parchment. My family is cursed. Lynn let out a sharp laugh. Nonsense. Curses are so 900 AD. There are symptoms, he pressed. Scott, it's real. It started when I was 16, after I brought home my first girlfriend. My mother began crying more often. I'd hear her praying, please not my boy, please let it skip him. She made me break up with Emily the next day. She's terrified, Professor. Then I found this tablet in a box with my father's name on it. My mother said it belonged to him. He had found it hidden in the old altar under the southern ridge. And the parchment? She asked, voice tighter now. Found it in a locked drawer. Folded and unfolded so many times the edges are soft. Scott carefully laid it flat. I'm not only a child of the royal line. Lynn adjusted her glasses and scanned the parchment. Scott, you're a descendant of both the Alaric and the Alistair lines? Yes. You think the curse of Amelia applies to you because of that? Look at it again. She did. Your mother's from the Alaric line, that's clear, and your father, a lowlife from the Alistair line. Scott, don't speak of him that way. I haven't seen him since I was 5. No one has. He's a missing person, and no one bothers missing. Even my grandfather vanished long before I was born. Father like son. Professor Lynn stepped forward, her voice gentle now. I know you're angry. I just thought he was a bastard. Then I started asking questions, and my uncles, they'd rather punch me than answer anything. She gave him a long look. Well, at least you're not related to the Roderick line. Alistair's not much better. Back to present day. Amanda's brow furrowed. So, You are a normal. Here I thought you had to be a saint. No girlfriends. If I didn't know better, I would have suggested that. She teased, but meeting the pain in his gaze, that's when your mom realized the curse might affect you. Now to you, it's more than just a myth? Scott nodded slowly. I didn't just feel haunted. I was haunted. Still am. Running his hand down his arm as the sun shone on his skin, it took on a stone appearance momentarily. Professor Lynn returned to the table, her expression unreadable, but not dismissive. Maybe, she said, sitting down across from him, it's time we stop calling it a curse. Maybe it's a legacy, one you'll have to finish or finally break. Scott looked to Amanda, then down at the faint shimmer still dancing beneath the skin of his wrist. I'm going to Castle Dunluce, he said simply. Today. Amanda didn't hesitate. She pushed back her chair and stood. Not without me. Scott blinked, surprised by her sudden intensity. She was already moving. Give me a second. Amanda darted down the hall, her bare feet padding against the hard wood. A moment later, she burst into her room and grabbed two items off the dresser. The moonstone sigil pendant, wrapped in flames still glowing faintly from her last dream, and the old leather-bound book etched with curling symbols. She clutched them both tightly and returned to the kitchen. Do you still have Amelia's tablet? Scott nodded slowly. Yeah, it's in my bag. I keep trying to understand it. I think I know where we need to go, Amanda said breathlessly. Amelia showed me something. At first, I thought it was just a vision, one of those weird dreamlike things she does. But this morning, when I was in the shower, my feet were muddy, cut up like I'd been walking through the moors barefoot. But I hadn't left the cottage. Professor Lynn's head tilted. You think you were projected there? I was there. I smelled moss and salt. Just before I even opened the shower curtain, I could feel glowing eyes on me. It wasn't a dream. Something, Amelia, was pulling me somewhere. Scott stood, the weight of her words sinking in. Then we don't waste time. Yeah, I know. Technical difficulties. Do 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 do. The professor's voice cut through their urgency, sharp but calm. You're not going alone. They turned to look at her. I've spent decades studying Castle Dunluce. I've read every page about Amelia, about the bloodlines, about the altar that was buried. And now you're telling me her magic is stirring again? She grabbed her field coat off the hook near the back door and tossed Amanda a flashlight. Grab boots, food, and water. The moors aren't forgiving even in daylight. Within moments, within minutes, the trio was in motion, Scott slinging a satchel over his shoulder, Amanda tucking Amelia's book into a worn canvas bag, and the professor pulling a folded map out of a drawer and spreading it across the table. The altar ruins are here, Lynn said, tapping the spot with her finger. Southern edge of the eastern moors, just past the ridge of thorns. There's no trail. You'll need to feel for it. Try this again. Feel for it? Amanda jokingly asked. Why? My feet know the path. We have walked in our ancestors' wake. I don't need a map for where we are going. What you all think is the altar is but one of many. Lynn met her eyes. If you've been touched by Amelia, you'll know more than the scholars. Scott, now lacing up his boots, looked to Amanda. Are you ready, my descendant of Amelia? He winked at her before he bit his bottom lip. Amanda fastened the pendant around her neck. Hold on. We have some sketchy shit to do. Let's wake a few ghosts, kick up a few rocks. Oh, don't forget, bring some torches, because it's bound to get a little dark. And with that, the three of them stepped out into the rising wind, the morning sun struggling to pierce the clouds rolling in from the cliffs. The air was heavy with the promise of answers, and the danger of what they might awaken beneath the stones. The trio hiked into the moors, clouds thickening like breath held too long. Amanda's boots pressed into the damp earth, every step heavier than the last. The pendant at her throat pulsed faintly. Scott walked ahead, flashlight in hand, its narrow beam cutting through the veil of fog that clung to the land like an old sorrow. But Amanda's thoughts drifted back to the sanctum, the chamber of stone and sorrow, to the whisper of Amelia's voice in her mind. That voice returned now, as soft and close as breath at the back of her neck. Did you really think the curse was so narrow, child? Amelia's laughter rippled gently through Amanda's thoughts. That it targeted only the firstborn sons of the firstborn line? Oh, no, sweet one. Why would it ever be so simple? Amanda's brow furrowed. She slowed slightly, her gaze catching on the way the fog curled around forgotten stones. The curse was strengthened, not diluted, made wider, more precise in its cruelty. It was never just one boy per generation. It touches the firstborn of every son. Each child who carries even a sliver of my betrayer's blood, male or female. The gargoyles you saw weren't all warriors. Some were daughters, lovers, mothers. They didn't all fall to battle. They fell to heartbreak.
You good, hun?
I liked Amelia. I'm a little perturbed with her right now.
Is that where it ends?
No, that's not where it ends, but that's a really good spot to put that kind of a sound effect
Right.
if we were doing.
Sadly, I was already privy to that little twist because I was talking with Patrick about certain things about the book. Yeah, Cash, we can still see you perfectly fine. You're still
Okay.
set in place.
Still gorgeous as ever, my dear.
All right. I just won't hit. I'm just not going to touch my phone then. We'll just go with it.
Yes, he is sadistic.
That's why we love him.
That's why we love him. Amanda's breath caught in her throat. Her heart pounded, every step feeling like it echoed down into that hidden corridor again. The statues, some had been women. She hadn't realized it then, not fully. This was never vengeance for a moment, Amelia went on. It was justice for a legacy of theft, of silencing, of rewriting truth into their tale. They crowned a monster and burned the homes who opposed them. Amanda touched Amanda touched the journal tucked into her side satchel. It was warm, alive. Its heartbeat matched hers. I am not evil, Amanda, Amelia whispered, but I believe in fairness. And fairness means balance. They thought they could snuff Ezra and his people out, my sisters and even me out. They raised monuments in his name, while my name was spoken only in shadows and faint whispers. So I gave them the shadows. I gave them silence, and I watched them weep as their children grew up and turned to stone. Amanda's voice, quiet but firm, murmured aloud, but not all of them. You left a spark in some of them. A beat of silence. Then, yes, Amelia replied, because some were innocent. Not all blood is willing blood. Not all sins are passed down by choice. And some of them tried to love. But love is not enough unless it is true, brave, unconditional. They were nearing the ridge of thorns now. Amanda could feel it in her chest like a compass needle drawn to a forgotten magnetic field. Scott paused ahead, sensing something too. She spoke again, barely above a whisper. Gargoyle. The one that looked like Scott. That was his father, wasn't it? Yes, Amelia answered, not smug, not cruel, just honest. Ezra, named oddly after my beloved, man who tried to fight the curse, but not soon enough. He hesitated. He feared what love might cost him, and so it did. Amanda wiped at her eyes roughly, as if it might clear the tears and the haze of old pain. So that's it. Every descendant of Alaric and Alistair is just a pawn? Amelia's tone softened. No, child. Alaric's line are free of sin. Alistair's line is the cursed one. Oddly together, they are keys. And you, my sweet Amanda, you are the door. Amanda stopped walking. Scott turned, confused. Amanda? But her mind was still with Amelia. You carry my blood, my voice, my sight. That is why I called you. You are the first to walk where even ghosts feared to linger. You are the first to see them. And now you must decide if the cycle ends or begins anew. The pendant at Amanda's neck flashed briefly. Her hands trembled. And what about love? She asked quietly into the wind. What if I fall in love with someone touched by your curse? Then make sure it is true, Amelia said, because love that is pure enough to break my curse is love strong enough to survive it. The wind shifted, lifting Amanda's hair like a caress. Scott watched her, brow furrowed, a question lingering behind her eyes. She took a breath, walked up beside him, and grabbed his hand. We're almost there, she said softly. I think I know where we need to go. Professor Lynn, panting from a few paces back, looked at them both. You're sure? Amanda nodded, more sure than she'd ever been. The curse wasn't made just to punish. It was made to protect something too. And I think it's time we find out what that something is. They stepped forward together, past the ridge, into the rising mist. And somewhere, deep within the earth, beneath a veil of time, the statues began to stir. Dun dun dun!
That was the end.
I have theories.
Did it say the statues are beginning to stir?
Yup.
Yes.
Ooh.
And that line about the curse also protecting something. I have theories.
Right? Pardon me while I shove food in my face.
I mean, we got an ad break coming up in 3.5 minutes. There's no way you can fit a
Mhm.
story, the next submission in that time because the next submission is 1,500 words, so there's no rush. So help me though, if they walk into that cave and they find gargoyle eggs, I'm gonna lose my shit.
I I know, Siren. I know. And I get to read this out like a chapter here and there every single week. It's freaking awesome. Well, but to be fair, right? This is rough draft. Okay. So Patrick, PA Power, was sharing every single chapter with his last book up to a certain point, except for the things that are a little bit for live streaming, right? And finally I told him, I said, you gotta stop that. You gotta stop that. Because if somebody hears me reading it out every single week, they tune in every single week and they get every single chapter, well, now they have no reason to buy the book. Just
That's
saying.
why I stopped. That's why I stopped submitting for Scoundrel, which I
Hmm.
then immediately turned around and submitted for Scoundrel this week. So,
Yeah, but not every single one. And sometimes if you bounce back and you start, you find another scene that needs to be added in. Well, it may or may not, you know, be something that gets submitted or things. Oh, I
I have a
know,
feeling.
Siren, you will read it.
I have a feeling that we're not gonna get to mine tonight. I'm a little sad about it because that means I have to wait until tomorrow for Izzy to read it, and I'm like, boo, because I took too long submitting. The stupid pirates wouldn't talk to me. Come here, come here.
I mean, yeah, my characters were talking to me this week, just not
The
in a
wrong way.
way that would
Yeah,
get me to the prompt.
yeah.
Hey, guys, we are holding strong at 11 viewers. Thank you so very much.
Hey.
As we sit here and stare intensely at the screens in silence.
Ad starts in less than 15 seconds.
Yeah, we're just waiting the ad out before we start the next story. I know, right? It looks so good. She's irritating me with how tasty that burger looks.
And on top of that, it's Black Angus that my youngest spawn grilled on our porch on charcoal briquettes that were started on, I think, cherry wood chips.
It sounds so fucking good.
And middle spawn over here just got home from work about 30 minutes ago and said Big Brother approves. And I helped make the potato wedges. Lex cut them and then they were soaking for 30 minutes and earlier when we were in the Discord, he came
Yeah.
in and he handed me a timer and he said when this goes off, I need you to go into the kitchen and I need you to uh, dump out the water, put oil and the Chicago steak seasoning on the potatoes, stick them in the air fryer, and put it on for 20 minutes. Okay. I took notes.
Yeah, she wrote it down. I watched her
I
write
took
it down.
And then after I put everything in and whatnot, and I was like, did I do it right? Did I do it right? I swear, I think my youngest spawn was about to smack me or something. I don't know.
Yes, dear, because you're subscribed, you don't get you don't have to worry about the you don't have to worry about the ads.
Yep. We'll start working on the ads bit and where do they pop up? Where do they show? All the things.
My ankle is still swollen. It's taking way longer to recover than usual.
What happened?
I wiped out in one of the pits the dogs dug in the driveway and sprained my ankle. And apparently, it was a severe enough sprain that it was considered a grade 2 because it was like immediately bruised up.
Hmm.
And this was like over a month ago, and like I can put full weight on it, but like if I move it the wrong way, I get pain lightening up my leg.
Oh, wow.
Yeah,
That doesn't sound good.
and I can't run.
Is our fearless leader still having problems?
I think
Seems that
so.
way. I know that now and then it will tell me that it's waiting on hosts, and if I refresh the whole page, it allows me to go back in, but something tells me that's not going to help.
Yeah, like I said, I've got like a white screen that says you've been removed as a guest, and then it says report. Hold my pen. Promptcast. Not going to do
Yeah,
that.
not that one, please. But no, look, you're still here with us. See,
I see
Yeah.
that.
you're still here.
I see that. I'm just not going to touch anything.
Ew. Gifted. Hey, look at that!
Oh,
Look at
Nice.
that!
First
We got the
gifted
pop
sub.
up. Look! The little pop up thingy.
the pop-up thingy worked.
It worked. That was so sweet of you. And Stavros gets the cup because it's not a prime one. So Stavros gets the cup. Stavros gets the
Stavros
custom
gets a
badge.
little cup.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
It's so stupid. I know it's so stupid. I got so excited about the fucking badge, but I worked so hard. I'm getting that set up to make us all have custom badges.
Mm-hmm.
But it doesn't apply to the Prime subscriptions, so like most people aren't gonna get it. They're like, yay, we can see it now. I'm a fucking
There's
dork.
well, and then on top of that, there's a reason the Halloween bride, Siren Crow, is one of my closest friends. Just saying.
I mean, from the interaction we've had today alone, she's fucking awesome.
Mhm.
Yeah, I'm very animated in pretty much everything in life. So yeah, I'm very very visceral. You should, yeah.
I just
I have
absolutely
no filter.
love that over the course of the last 2.5, 3 years since moving into this house and expanding and whatnot, I have managed to surround myself with amazing people who are
Mhm.
loving, caring, supportive, and allow me to love and care and support them. And I did not know what I knew the concept of it takes a village and finding your tribe. I understood the concept of that, but other than Kesh, I didn't have nada. And you guys have been the best family a girl could ever ask for. All of you.
Yeah,
Anyway,
you all make living in the middle of the woods and being a hermit in the middle of nowhere fun.
there we go. Yes. And someday we'll all, get to pile on Patrick for what he puts us through.
Right?
Love you too. Okay. Mm. Me too. Me too. All right. So next we have our wonderful anonymous submitter prompter. Our third one ever, and has been consistent with the submissions. And apparently, it's a story that is currently titled "Marked by the." If
Whoop.
I'd quit, marked by the dawn. And it looks like this is chapter 11. Beneath the surface. The soft knock on Anthony's office door was barely louder than the hum of the old wall clock. Come in, he called, voice casual, but Clary could hear the undercurrent of something more expectation, tension. She slipped inside, quietly shutting the door behind her. The chaos of the daycare faded to a dull hum, replaced by the intimate hush of four walls and one man watching her like she was the only thing in the world worth noticing. Anthony sat behind his desk, a mug in one hand, his now shaved jaw catching the light. We do love a strong jaw. Just saying. He looked dangerously composed, the kind of calm that preceded a storm. That storm had a name. Hers. You wanted to see me? Clary asked, schooling her features into something neutral, despite the pounding in her chest. Anthony gestured to the chair across from him. Yeah, before the day runs away with us. A hunger danced in his eyes as she took the chair before him, the sound of her fast beating heart only adding fuel to his desire for her. Clary
Mhm.
sat, folding her hands in her lap to keep them from trembling. Her skin still tingled from the confrontation with Stacy. Fucking Stacy! I hate fucking Stacy in this story. The anger had melted into something heavier, an ache, and beneath that, a pulse, a magnetic tension she couldn't explain but couldn't shake. It wasn't just attraction, it was like standing too close to fire and trying to pretend you didn't feel the burn. But it was nothing compared to how Anthony looked at her now. He didn't sit. He stayed standing, his hands gripping the edge of the desk like he needed the anchor. I heard most of what was said out there, he said, his voice low, jaw tight. I almost came out swinging, but I needed to see how you'd handle it. And did I pass? She asked, arching a brow. He smiled slowly. You didn't just pass. You were ice cold. It was hot, actually. He leaned in inches from her face, close enough Clary could feel the heat of his breath. Clary blinked. He stood up, taking a few steps back, the heat in his gaze unmistakable now. You need to understand something, he said, voice dropping. Every time I think I've got a handle on this, on us, you walk in and I lose it all over again. She stared at him, stunned, her pulse roaring in her ears.
Breathe, Izzy, breathe.
You're You're not just beautiful, Clary, he went on, moving closer, but not yet touching. You're fire. And every inch of me, man and wolf, feels it, smells it. I can almost taste you. Her breath hitched. Anthony, you and your wolf want to eat me? Oh, sweet Clary, I can't sleep. Not really. Not with you lying in the same room and not in my arms, he said, his voice rough. And when you laugh, when you fight back like you did out there, something in me howls, literally. The only thing that would push me over the edge is to have you under me screaming my name. Fuck you, anonymous number 3, making me talk like this. She laughed once, soft, incredulous, but it died in her throat when he stepped close enough that she could feel the heat rolling off his body. I keep trying to give you space, Clary. Time to heal. But I don't know how much longer I can hold myself back. I have never entertained the desires of the flesh until now. It is because of you, Clary. My primal desires are awakened. Her mouth went dry. Then why are you? He took a sharp breath, like her question had punched the air from his lungs. Because you've been through hell. Because I want you to come to me because you want to. Because you want it. Not because you're afraid or grateful or because some part of you thinks it's the only safe place to run. She stood then, unable to sit with the way the room pulsed around them. He didn't touch her. Not yet. But he got close enough that she could feel the heat radiating off him. You have no idea what you're doing to me, he whispered. Every time you walk by, it takes everything I have not to grab you and make you mine. Clary swallowed hard, her body taut with a strange, delicious fear, like a rabbit that wants to be caught. Why haven't you? She asked, her voice soft, breathy. Anthony's jaw clenched. Because I'm still trying to be the man you deserve and not the beast that wants to devour you. A flicker of gold danced in his eyes. But you're making it harder and harder every damn day, Clary. And I don't know how much longer I can pretend I don't want you every minute you're near me. He leaned in then, his mouth a breath from hers, his voice ragged. You're the first thing that's made me feel alive in years, and the only thing I want. Clary swayed toward him before she could stop herself, caught in the pull. His fingers twitched at his sides. Say the word, he whispered, and I'll stop holding back. Anonymous number 3 is going to get a strongly worded letter.
You don't know who to send it to.
I do.
I
We keep it anonymous.
know.
But strongly worded letter. Lifting her up, placing her on his desk, having both his massive hands locked on her hips, he leaned in, ready to devour her lip. She was about to say something more, maybe fall into him completely, when a sharp knock broke the moment. Anthony's head turned, his growl audible now.
Don't
What?
answer.
Jessica's voice cut through. Stacy says it's urgent. The supply delivery's off. Anthony didn't take his eyes off Clary. Tell her I'll be there in 5. She said now. She can wait. Jessica muttered something under her breath and walked away. Anthony exhaled, then leaned in, pressing the lightest kiss to Clary's forehead. Later, when this day ends, you and me, we're not done. She nodded, her body still humming, her lips still tingling with a kiss that hadn't yet happened. Clary, you did not tell me. With words, the answer I seek. But your body screamed loud and clear. Anthony ran a single finger down her cheek. Until tonight. Now you better go before they all start talking. Stepping back to allow Clary to leave his office. And when she left the room, her steps were unsteady, but her heartbeat was something fierce, something new. Outside, the world kept turning, but inside them both, something had already shifted. Anthony scrubbed a hand over his face, trying to slow the pounding of his pulse. Her scent lingered like wildflowers and warm spice, making it near impossible to think straight. He gave himself a few breaths before leaving his office. Down the hall, he spotted Stacy near the back entrance where the delivery truck had supposedly arrived. Is it handled? He asked, his voice still a touch rough. Stacy turned with a smile too polished, too sweet. Oh, yes, everything's accounted for. I just thought you should see for yourself. Anthony looked over the manifest on the clipboard hanging from the door. Everything checked out. Looks fine, he said shortly. But Stacy stepped closer, her voice dipping into a practiced purr. You know, you don't have to pretend to be so distant with me. We've known each other for a long time, Anthony. I know what you like. Looking around, she started to unbutton her blouse. He turned to face her, jaw tightening. Stacy. She placed a manicured hand lightly on his chest. You don't have to settle for some broken little teacher with baggage. I'm right here, and I know exactly how to take care of a man like you. Why settle for a slut like her? He removed her hand gently but firmly. Don't do this. Her smile faltered. Grasping at straws, she stepped forward then with calculated purpose, allowed herself to fall. Pure instinct to catch her took over Anthony, reaching out and pulling her in to prevent injury. You don't have a claim on me. You never did, he said, tone clipped. But she does. That pathetic single mom who clings to you like a lifeline? Anthony's eyes flared gold. Careful, Stacy. She flinched, the confidence wavering in her expression. Out of the corner of her eye stood Clary. Jessica did her job, gently muttering, I got some sketchy shit to do. Clary, he is mine. Stacy leaned on her toes, wrapping her arms around Anthony's neck, pressing her lips to his neck. Clary, seeing the scene before her, cupped her hand over her mouth to prevent the cries of betrayal escaping her lips. Turning, she ran back to Ava, back to her classroom. Anthony stepped back. He glared into her eyes. Go back to the front desk. She didn't move for a second, then turned on her heel and stomped off, heels clicking in rapid fire retreat. Her eyes took on a cold steel look as the corner of her lips perked up in a smile. Anthony stood still for a moment, jaw clenched, knuckles tight at his sides. Then he exhaled slowly and turned toward the classrooms. Once again, the sweet scent caught his attention. He needed to check on Clary and Ava, and he needed to hold Clary again. His body was crying to hold her.
No, don't stop.
Busy. Everything okay?
Emotional damage.
The
I am
silence is emotional damage.
right. I am a little curious. At one point he made mention of how he'd never had any interest in the physical flesh up until now. Never had any interest. There was no interest in the flesh for him up until now. I think he's a virgin.
Ooh.
I would fucking love it if he was a virgin, because we don't have enough male virgins in media these days.
We really don't.
Like, I purposely went out of my way to make my big beefy golden retriever goalie in the second Mafia book a virgin, which he then proceeded to lose very rapidly.
Very rapidly.
But like we don't like there's female virgins everywhere in
And
romance.
and
It's
they
a
make
thing,
a big fucking deal about it.
right? I want to see more male virgins. I would love to see this powerful, strong, intense, serious, charismatic man be a virgin. That'd be amazing. He could have like fooled around a little bit and be like, I'm not really into this. I'm gonna refrain.
I'm not into
And he
you,
could.
or yeah.
Yeah, it's like he tried messing around. It didn't work for him. So he's just like, you know what? I'm a wait. I would love to see that.
I guess we'll have to find out. Yep. Yep.
Apparently, all of Julie's kings are virgins, and that has my
Yes.
attention.
They we've talked about some of the back end world building that leads into uh the Four Queens for Four Kings, and uh, basically it's impression I get is that the Four Kings really like they're raised from the time they are very little to understand the weight of responsibility of leadership, right? That
Yeah.
it's not just that you get to rule with an iron thumb, but that it's your responsibility to take care of everybody around you. And if your people are doing poorly, you are doing poorly. And so as such, they wait for their partner, for that perfect person, that perfect fit, with warts, scars, and all the things that life throws at us. Um, And I was like, that's one of the sweetest things that I've ever heard, while at the same time, let's just say I'm kind of glad that she does close the door and fade to black in those, because that
And like, I purposely made Dom, the male lead in my second Mafia book, a virgin, because I wanted to explore the idea of a hockey player who would be very much a celebrity, very much in the forefront of the public, someone who people fantasize about hockey players all the fucking time. And I wanted to explore the idea of him having body dysmorphia, of him dealing with having that kind of pressure put on him constantly. And the way he deals with it is he just like refrained. Like, I don't want to. I'm uncomfortable with it. I'm just going to not do that, because he didn't handle because like, oh, how do I phrase this? Anytime he did try and mess around, it very much felt like they weren't in it for him. There was a disconnect there that was putting him off it, and I wanted to explore that side of men dealing with being objectified. And then Riley
okay.
comes along and takes his V card.
Now we're hearing about a sexy store that carries the books and the toys.
Right?
I mean, that's fine.
Austin and Danny were in common. Like, yes! More male virgins, please! And we have an ad break in 5 minutes.
Cool. That'll also give us time for the dun to refresh, because the next one is our lovely woman of few words, who just gives us enough to feel the burn. And also, legitimately,
400 words.
Trisha, quit apologizing. It's genius marketing, is what
Oh,
it
it's
is.
great. It's fantastic.
No. Okay. Trisha's like, I didn't say anything. Sorry, it's short is literally in the email. Stop it. Hey, if you're going that way, could you be a loving dear child of mine and take my plate to the kitchen?
All right.
Thank you.
Oh, she hates being held. She hates being
Hi,
held.
Salem. How's my baby? Hi, baby, pretty girl. Hi.
I love her mustache, but I also hate it because it doesn't connect right there.
Yeah.
And like, I think that's really cute.
Hey,
But at the same
AC.
time, it drives me nuts. Boo 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 boo. Boo 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 boo. You need the toe beans. You need the toe beans. Kitty kitty kitty. The toe beans.
And vast asynchronicity, awesome editor to watch live on Twitch in the comments. Please give them a follow. Have learned a lot, but also the very first live that I was hanging out in, I don't think I've heard the word tentacle that many times in 1 hour. Just saying.
Yeah. I just switch earring poses because I'm gonna wear my.
You know what, Siren? You're right. Maybe it's not a mustache. Maybe it's her contact center headset.
Yeah. Yeah. Are you constantly on call? Is that it? Are you constantly on call? Here.
Oh my goodness. Oh, she's precious.
She's a gorgeous baby. And there went one of mine. Yeah.
Somebody got jealous.
This one shows up anytime she hears
Stop.
Izzy's voice.
Yeah. And anytime that one Star hears Julie's voice, she comes and has to say hi. So it's like we may be in Tennessee, Indiana, and Canada, but like our pets even know each other, for crying out loud.
Yeah.
That's how much time we may spend too much time together.
Big butt.
Wait, no,
Big kitty
no
butt.
such thing. No such thing.
Big kitty butt.
Perma-Zoom kitty.
Yes, we do have some perma-zoom kitties. We've got 3 of them that will purposely come up here on the desk and interact. All right, so we've got an ad starting in 1 minute. I need a Dr. Pepper refill. Be right back.
I am going to cover the camera
Ow!
and
Bit me.
step out for a second. Since I can't like just turn my camera off, I got to cover it. So just to black it out.
Actually, no, we'll leave. We'll leave. Oh, there we go. They've left you alone with me. I am. All right, dogs. I am East Coast. I am in New Brunswick, Maritimer. Yeah, right. You and the Spanx. You love the Spanx. I don't know why. It's a tuxedo thing. I assume you bought a fuck ton then. Salem. Hey, look at me. Look at me. Nice. Yes, I believe Dahlia's Calgary. Maybe Toronto. No, that's Zoe. Zoe's Toronto. Oh no. Oh no. Where are you going? I wish you hadn't come to me named. I hate it when people name cats Salem. Yeah, I hate it. Oh, we have belly time. We have belly time. Oh, oh, got called out. I called her out on it. Now she doesn't want to. Let me get that belly. Yeah. What are you doing? kitty who likes having her belly scratched. All right, ad breaks are over. No more kitties.
Now we just gotta get Izzy.
Jesus, you guys have, like.
There's all the kitties.
That's insane, Stavros. It costs us like $28 for 2 steaks. You guys are like the beef center of the country. That's insane. And our lobster is still $14 a pound. Woo! Or kilogram. Oh, Jesus. Oh my God.
I am laughing at what's going on down here in the chat.
Right?
It's pretty entertaining.
She's got you taking the piss out of her on camera, and she's got the Halloween bride taking the piss out of her on chat. It's great.
Normally it's me taking digs at her down there. So does that mean that next week we get to gang up on her, me and the Halloween bride?
Gang up on her tomorrow. What are you talking about?
Oh yeah, that's right, because Patrick can be online or on back on tomorrow. Ugh, I can't talk. I collect people who keep me in check. Are you sure about that, Izzy?
You say you call it keeping you in check. I call it tormenting the fuck out of you. You know, 6 of one, half a dozen of the other.
Yep, yeah, sounds about right. I've been doing it longest though. That's all I. That's my claim to fame. That's my claim to fame.
Fucking iPad there. I got cat hair all over my nose now. My face is so itchy.
Everyone needs an Izzy in their life, Izzy.
Absolutely.
We actually had somebody come into the store named Izzy today. I was
I love
like,
y'all so much. Yes,
somebody
it's our
else.
love language. Look, I had to step outside for a little Hufflepuff, and no, not the one that's in the chat.
You got a Hufflepuff right here.
No, I can't because I do not do that in my house.
You have a Hufflepuff right here.
Oh, okay. Oh my God! Why am I collecting Hufflepuffs?
Cause we're the best.
You got a Slytherin.
Yeah, and see there's the other one right over there. Apparently, I birthed a Hufflepuff somehow. I'm a Ravenclaw. Yes, Siren is my work Hufflepuff, and then I have a Hufflepuff in my house, and I have a Hufflepuff in my writing group. What the hell? Okay. All right. So, ready for some emotional damage from Trisha?
Always.
And not that Trisha hurts us. Okay. Sometimes The emotional damage comes from the fact that she has characters who are so loving and supporting and emotionally mature and amazing and true partners that we all experience emotional damage because we've never had that. Okay, just. I am not cheating on you.
I don't know. We get up to some shenanigans in the Discord.
Oh my goodness.
I remember certain reactions whenever I was trying on my underbus corset. I don't know.
Shit. I forgot about that. Look, if she has a husband and a wifey and me, I think I'm entitled. Okay, anyway, moving on to Trisha's. Here we go. I was in the kitchen making dinner when my teenagers came in from school. Hey, Mom, my oldest said. What's for dinner? Hello, my children, I responded. We are having taco salad. Mom, you know I can't eat meat, my youngest whined. Yes, I do. I put some taco seasoning in some chunked tofu and set it aside to stay warm. Tofu. Thank you, she called as she headed up to her room. Don't stay up there too long. Dinner is almost ready, I called after her. Soon dinner was being put on the table just as my husband and kids came to it. We sat and talked about our days while we ate. After we all finished, my husband had to go to work and I started putting leftovers away. My oldest came back into the kitchen and helped me. Then both of my kids sat at the kitchen table and did their homework while I did the dishes. They were quietly working while I was cleaning up the dinner mess when I heard a phone notification, then a gasp from my youngest. I turned to face the table with a dish towel in my hands. Is everything okay? She sat motionless, looking at her phone. Her brother got up and stood behind his sister, looking at her phone. The look on his face went from shock to pure anger. He hugged his sister and said, Everything will be okay. He put his things away and started for the door. Hold on. Where are you going? I asked. He looked at his sister, then said to me, I'm about to go do some shady shit. What? They made my sister cry and scared her to the point that she didn't want to move. I have to stop them. I have to make them understand what they've done. I sighed and walked over to him. Don't do anything. If you get yourself hurt and don't get yourself arrested, because we do not have the bail money to get you out. I will do my best not to get arrested and get myself hurt, he said, and headed out the door. I went over to my youngest and hugged her without looking at her phone. You don't need to tell me anything, but I am here if you want to talk. I kissed the top of her head and went back to the sink to finish up the dishes.
That honestly could have been a scene right out of My Fucking Family. No, you don't fuck with the siblings. You don't do that. And yeah, it's definitely a golden rule. It's like don't get caught. If you're gonna go do shady shit, don't get caught because we can't afford the bail.
Can't afford bail.
If you get busted, you're spending the night in jail because I can't get you out. Don't get caught. I mean, I spent my prom night driving around town stealing political signs off people's lawns. Like,
Mm-hmm.
oh, fucking Trisha. 400 words. 400 words, and she immediately sent me back to my teenage years. Yeah, it had lettuce. It was a fucking salad.
And here comes Izzy trying to clean up the chat.
For somebody who has not had any kind of adult time with another person in nearly 3 years, I know entirely too much about some people's extracurricular activities. Just saying.
Try twice that.
Oh, oh, but right there, Siren,
Mm-hmm.
that's a little Peppa girl. Peppa girl. Pretty Peppa girl.
Yeah, Izzy, try real hard to not look at the chat right now.
I'm not saying shit.
What?
Yes. Pietro dies.
Oh, it's such
Pietro
bullshit.
dies.
It's such bullshit.
Pietro dies. Sorry.
I'm assuming we're talking about the second Avengers movie.
Yes.
Yeah, like, never mind that this is the same guy who was able to dodge and grab a bunch of bullets beforehand in the exact same fucking movie, but all of a sudden now he can't move fast enough. Yeah, no, it's bullshit.
You're not hearing Shar going off
Yeah,
about
it's
how
fucking
that scene
bullshit.
was bullshit.
Like, Joss Whedon went on record saying that the only reason he killed Pietro was that he wanted to kill off one of the twins, and they didn't let him kill off Wanda because they had plans for her. So instead, he had to kill off Pietro. That's the only reason it happened. It's fucking bullshit. No, you know how I'm pirating it though? Sorry, that's a button for me.
Oh God. The chat.
Okay, we're gonna start behaving in the chat now. We get it. We had the fun. We're gonna start behaving in the chat now. It is all it's a lot of fun to rile the Izzy up, but we're getting off track. We're gonna start behaving.
They're still behaving, just behaving badly.
True. This is true. This is very true. We're not wrong.
And
This is
and
mild.
I mean, you're
I'm
friends
sure
with Izzy.
it
I assumed it was
is.
mild. I assumed
I
it was
am
mild.
sure
You're
it
friends with
is.
Izzy.
yeah,
Yes.
watching Siren play Diablo on Twitch.
I love that game.
Uh, we're just gonna leave it like that.
All right, who do we have left? We have
Who we have
Kesh,
left?
you, and
We have
Deb.
Kesh up next.
Did you
So
practice your German?
no, I did not practice my German.
I thought
But
you said
all
you
I
were gonna read it, Kesh.
yeah, I'm thinking Kesh.
I vaguely recall volunteering that Kesh was gonna be reading it instead.
Yep.
I do believe.
I've been called out.
Yep. And yes,
Hey, if
one
I'm
of the
gonna-
other. Go ahead.
If I'm gonna give Izzy shit, I'm gonna give you shit too. It's only fair.
Oh, I know.
And yes, the engagement in the chat is phenomenal.
Oh, it's great.
And that one of the things that we noticed or read, and we've mentioned it a couple of times in previous weeks, is that the more engaged the chat is, the less likely ads are to occur. FYI.
That makes sense.
So there we go. Okay, so next up, Kesh Butler.
Okay. This is my first time reading, so give me a little slack, okay?
Get it
No,
perfect.
Trisha. No, Trisha, you did not miss your scolding.
No, that comes later.
We felt it.
No,
Okay.
you'll do great, Kesh. You're fine. You're fine.
All right. Petra had been hiding something from him, and now Christoph was about to find out what. She had called telling him that she wanted to tell him something, but it needed to be in person. That made him overly anxious about what she wanted to talk to him about. Did she want to break up? Was she pregnant? In trouble? His mind raced with all the possibilities. She had asked him to come over to her apartment that night. A smile emoji at the end eased him eased his mind enough that he was able to make it through his workday. He didn't think that she'd be sending smiles if they were going to break up. The day passed, and he caught the U-Bahn across town. Sorry, I have problems like switching between languages. So
You're fine.
across town to the high rise where her apartment was. He was trying not to be nervous about seeing her, but he still felt like something heavy was sitting in the bottom of his stomach, worrying it was something serious. Walking into the lobby, he waved at the security guard, who recognized him from previous visits. He hit the button to call the elevator, watching the digital numbers changing as as the car began to travel down, opening up to allow him to enter. He reached the 10th floor, walked to her apartment, knocking. Macht die Tür auf? Her voice filtered through the door, just loud enough for him to catch the invitation. He entered, looking around the apartment. The lights were dimmed, not unusual for her, especially if she's trying to set a mood. It meant that whatever Petra was going to tell him was more than likely a good thing. Christoph sighed, not realizing he had been holding his breath when he had entered the apartment. Looking around, he didn't see her right away, noticing her sitting on the love seat across from the front door, looking out over the city. Christoph. She stood up, walking into the light cast by the fixture at the center of the ceiling. He stopped in his tracks, his smile leaving his face once he saw her. Wait, I don't understand. He looked her in the eyes, which were now a reddish orange instead of brown like he had expected, while her incisors were longer, more obvious than when she spoke. He shook his head in disbelief, thinking he was seeing things. I know my appearance is alarming, but I can explain if you'll hear me out. She was holding her hands up a little like she was surrendering to him. But don't come any closer. I'll listen, Christoph said, taking a step backwards. Fair. I'll honor that, I promise. Petra relaxed her arms, letting them hang loosely at her side. A vampire? Christoph's tone came off a little horrified as he continued to examine her appearance. Her skin was a little more pale than he had remembered, and dark blue veins ran up the sides of her neck, behind her ears, and into her hairline. Well, actually, yes, I am. It's not like in the books and the movies, though. She nervously played with the hem of her t-shirt, her eyes still locked with his. How so? He started to feel less caught off guard and more ready to hear her out. Well, I can go out in the daylight, which we've done together. I eat regular food, including garlic. You saw that the other night at dinner. Petra's hands were moving as she talked. The examples she used were all things they had done together. Most of my body systems function the same as yours. I feel attachment and loss. And there was a brief, melancholic tone in her voice as she forced herself to smile a little. The ways I am the same are that I must feed on human blood, but only once a week. I'm also much harder to kill than a regular human, and also much faster. She was standing in the light, and then she wasn't. She had moved back to sitting on the love seat, looking up at him as though she had been there the entire time. I hope that didn't startle you too much. She slowly stood back up and walked back to where she had been standing. She placed her hands in front of herself, and as he realized she was trying to be as unthreatening as possible. That was definitely unexpected. How do I know you're not trying to lure me into a trap? Christoph shifted his weight back a little, trying to be ready to run if needed. Because I would have been on you before you knew what hit you if I was luring you here to do anything other than talk. Petra's tone was almost threatening as she then turned, slowly walking back to the love seat and sitting down again. Good point. Christoph looked down onto the floor, the white tiles of her kitchen bright even in the dim light. So, was this what you wanted to talk to me about? You being a vampire? He looked up at her, his eyes meeting hers. I wanted to tell you, we've been together, been intimate for a while. I thought you would like to know who I really am. She looked away from his gaze. She looked like she was a little embarrassed. Do you know, kill when you feed? He was hesitant to ask, but since she wanted to know, show him, he felt it was a question that needed to be asked. No, I only feed, and only from willing donors. And there's a cafe in the Tiergarten district by the Reichstag. They cater to my kind, she explained, his face staying stoic as she spoke to him. How many of your kind are there in the city? He was trying not to sound like he was interrogating her. Enough that we have 2 cafes that cater to us and match us with willing donors. She laid back on the arm of the small couch, looking out the window towards the Brandenburg Gate and dome of the Reichstag were yeah. Were you born like this? Now he was just being curious. Oh no, I was turned. And I was his companion until he met his unfortunate demise at the hands of one of the Knights Templar. Her reply gave him a hint at her age and something else. So you've been around for a while. Christoph slowly began taking steps closer to her. I'm almost 900 years old at this point. I've seen so many things, Christoph. I can't even begin to tell you what it's like to watch history unfold many times over. There was wonder in her voice. How many people have you turned? He took another step closer. I haven't. Well, that's a lie. There's been one. In retaliation for my master's death, I attacked the Templar with the intent to kill him, but instead, I accidentally turned him. It's been a whole thing. She wasn't going to go into any more detail. She didn't need to. But anyways, he's been chasing me for about 6, 7 centuries. I'm not even sure at this point. I doubt he will be happy until he sees me dead by his blade. She looked back at him as he took another step closer. Why is that? He stopped as she looked him in the eyes again. He's angry that I turned him into a demon, his words, not mine. And he has every right to be angry. As I said, I turned him by accident. It was not my intent. Petra was watching as Christoph continued to come closer to her. He watched as she placed her feet on the floor, looking up at him, confusion creeping across her face. So why did you ask me here then, if not to feed on me? He was standing over her now. Looking down at her face, her eyes grew wide. How did I not notice before now? Petra's voice was soft, almost a whisper and laced with fear, her eyes relaying the realization of who he was. Sometimes we see what we want, not what is. I am guilty of it myself. His reply came as his eyes turned the same reddish-orange as hers, and his own fangs extended from his gun line. You've changed a lot since the last time we met. I didn't recognize you. I wouldn't have had you not admitted to being the one who turned me. Christoph knelt down, coming face to face with her, his hand resting on her shoulder, her eyes looking to the side and then back at him. I guess this is it, yeah? She asked. Unfortunately. Christoph leaned in, kissing her. Her body jerked as the dagger found her heart. Petra fell back onto the love seat, her breathing labored as he removed the knife, wiping the blade down the leg of her jeans. He sat, watching her until she finally stopped breathing, her eyes looking at him devoid of any life. Running his fingers over her face, he closed her eyes and leaned in, placing a gentle kiss on her forehead. He looked at her for a few more moments, stood up, and walked to the window. He opened it, stepped on the ledge, and carefully turning to close the window behind him. Once the window was closed, Christoph took deliberate steps along the edge of the building until he found the back of the building, the face that sat over the alley. He jumped, landing on his feet, and then, looking around, made sure he had not been seen. Once satisfied, he made himself look fully human again, disappearing into the streets of Berlin. Dun dun dun.
Cash, what the fuck?
Emotional damage.
It wrote itself.
Oh my god! No word of a lie. Like it clicked my head like, oh shit, he's a vampire too. I saw Izzy's jaw drop and went, oh no, he's the vampire.
Yep. When it
Holy
started out,
shit!
I had a totally different like route that I wanted to take, and this is how it ended up.
That's
So,
insane.
There can be only one.
oh, it's not even that. He just wanted revenge.
No, I know. No, I know. But like it between the two of them, there can be only one.
Yeah,
Yeah.
true.
One of them had to go.
Okay. Yep. She
Wait, where was the? Did you get a chance to use the prompt, or was this just its own thing?
It was the beginning, the first sentence. Petra had been hiding something from him, and now Christoph was about to find out what. What was the
Gotcha.
prompt?
Okay.
Oh God, that's so tiny.
Oh, one of the
She had
other
been,
ones.
yeah, she had been hiding something from me for years, and now I was about to find out what. That was
Gotcha.
the prompt I
Okay.
used. I had like some plans for some of the other prompts, and just they didn't end up in there.
No,
Yeah.
it didn't matter.
I-
No, it doesn't matter. This was.
I-
Oh my god. Hey, we have an ad. Oh my god.
Is this
Ah,
good or bad?
good. Very good. Like that you could totally package it with like maybe like honestly, it doesn't even need padding. You could market that as its own little short story, just as like that. That's a nice, neat little circle. That was, oh my god, that was awesome.
That's a good ego boost. Thank you. Yeah,
Izzy, you
breathe,
good?
Izzy. I broke the Izzy.
I love it. I love it so much. I love the tragic twist. I love it. I fucking love it.
Same. I hate it, but I love it. Like, sounds like everyone likes it overall.
Yeah, yeah. To be topical, yeah.
Yeah. I think
Izzy,
Izzy
what are you doing?
Izzy. I
Are
really
you
broke
okay?
it.
We need to give her a minute.
I'm worried. I don't know. I mean, I know the goal is to make Izzy feel, but
Yeah,
I mean,
she felt
why am
so
I
much that she
always?
no longer feels.
Yeah.
Oh fuck! No, that was great. That was
Yeah.
fantastic. Just enough world building that you can follow it and you know what's going on. I loved it. I loved it.
I
Absolutely loved
thought
it.
it I thought it was a little suspicious that that he wasn't more afraid in the beginning, but I thought maybe, just maybe, he's a curious morbid sort, like Siren or me. Okay? That's that-
Yes, Izzy. What is
like
glowing?
no. What is glowing?
Yeah, I have like a screen like this tiny that I can see here.
I mean, she's got a candle going.
Is that what it is? Okay. Yeah, like I said, my screen's like all white and wanting me to exit out. So But anyways,
And then to
oh,
top everything else off, it's raspberry tulip.
ooh,
I was gonna ask what scent it was.
and we got Saran down here wanting to be turned.
I mean,
Yeah,
it
yeah.
it is an unwritten rule for me and my friends that if one of us gets turned into any kind of creature that can turn someone else, werewolf, vampire, what have you, you need to at least offer. Offer.
Yeah.
I might say no, but at least offer. If you don't offer, you're not a friend.
Yeah, see, I'm with Stavros. I would prefer a were creature of some kind.
I'm not. I'll take either.
Well, I
I'll
mean
take
that's
whichever one
fair.
shows up first.
That's fair, but on the off chance, okay, right? When you're thinking about the vampiric lore, all of it, right? Almost all of it, almost, not all of it, but almost all of it involves requiring to drink blood, right? Okay. And I'm practically a vampire anyway. While the meat is still browning in the pan, if it's still pink, it's going in my mouth. Okay. So it's just there we go, right? But the dependency on it. And as somebody who lived so long as an addict and it, or addicted to things, it just like
That's entirely fair. That's entirely fair.
that's
I wouldn't
that's
have an
just
issue
an
drinking.
right.
I I
But
wouldn't have an
but
issue drinking blood because I chew on my lips so much. I'm very familiar with the taste of blood at this point.
oh,
Doesn't bother
absolutely. And that's not the issue.
me. Mm.
Literally, the bloodier the meat, the better. Like literally, every time I go and have a steak, and they're like, "How do you like that?" And I go,
Still
rare,
mooing. Still
as rare as
mooing.
you can make it, still mooing if you can." And they're just looking at me. I go, "I know you have like standards, okay? I want you to go as rare as you can legally go for your whatever, you know."
I believe
But
that's called
5
blue.
minutes, 5 minutes. Yes, technically it's called blue. Um, right,
And like,
and potentially feeding on animals, it feels less dependent, but at the same time, to have that hunger, to have that craving, um,
you're
if
right. It's
you've
an addiction.
it's an addiction, at the base core of it. So, I would prefer to, go furry once a month required, you know? On top of that, I don't have no longer have to worry about shaving at all.
Right. I'm like,
So
I honestly though, I wouldn't have an issue feeding regularly because I would go the Lestat route where I just find shitty people.
I mean, there is that too.
Let me go find the
My
FBI's most wanted list. It's my shopping list.
exactly, exactly. What is the difference? Yeah. Okay, so of course now we've got okay, so Shar does not have to go into pumpkin quite yet, so we can
Don't.
get uh another one in here.
And mine's next, and I really want Izzy to read it.
Sorry, I'm trying to keep it under control because
I
again,
know. I'm watching the chat too.
a certain person in the chat is really trying to fuck with me. But what's really gonna fuck with me is that this is another scene from the lovely pirate Ahoy Matey Scoundrel, written by one C.R. McCormick. Um,
Mm.
and yeah, can we just say that Ridley is just
Is your book
There was no
boyfriend
Bodhi
back?
in this one, sadly. There's no Bodhi in this one, sadly.
there's no Bodhi. No, I mean
No.
if I were a turtle, Bodhi would be my book boyfriend. Because I'm not a turtle. He's just gonna be my buddy, my pal, chum
Cooks for
around
you.
with.
He cooks for you.
He cooks for me. I go and help Dessa, bring in the catch, Okay. Oh my god. I'm not even I'm ignoring you now. I'm ignoring you now. This was the fourth time Soraya had witnessed Ridley and his crew go after a ship they'd spotted on the seas. It had started like the last three. Ridley had studied the ship as they lazily followed from a distance until he gave a quick gesture with his hand that caused the wave to explode into action. The sleek ship had burst forward through a combination of quick moves by the crew and a powerful blast of wind Hal had sent into the sails. The difference between this and the last three? Only a single cannon shot had been needed for the targeted ship to run up colors, signaling surrender. Soraya had been impressed until she noticed how suspicious Ridley had immediately become. On all the previous shakedowns, Ridley had all but sauntered onto the other ships, all charisma and charm, assuring everyone that no harm would come to them so long as they behaved. They'd even had to leave one of the ships quicker than usual as the captain's daughter had become besotted with Ridley, and he'd all but run away from her grasping arms, leaving her wailing for him as the wave left the ship in their wake. Now, however, Ridley had all but prowled across the gangplank they'd set up between the two ships, a grim expression on his face. Each and every pirate that had gone with Ridley was armed to the teeth, and the fact that Shauna was standing at the rails, watching with an intense focus, told Soraya that she'd missed an important clue as the rest of the crew had picked up on. At the moment, Ridley was standing next to what she assumed was the captain of the other ship, judging from the ridiculously expensive looking coat he was wearing. The two men were speaking quietly, and Ridley had a severe look on his face that had Soraya clutching the railing hard enough to turn her fingers white. "What's going on?" she asked Shauna. The other woman just shook her head slowly. "I don't know," she admitted. "Ridley's got the scent of something he doesn't like, that's all I can tell you." "I don't see any difference between this ship and any others," Soraya argued, and Shauna nodded towards the other ship. "Look at the crew," she said in a soft voice. "Watch their body language." Shauna's answer just left her with more questions, but Soraya did as instructed. It didn't take long for her to notice the differences compared to the other ships. Previous crews had all gathered up behind their captain, keeping as far a distance from the pirates as they could, the ones Ridley hadn't seduced anyway. This crew had gravitated to linger on the side of the pirates, avoiding going anywhere near their captain. Only the figure she suspected was the first mate remained by the captain, and even he was out of arm's reach, nowhere near close enough to step in if things got messy. "They're scared of their own captain?" Soraya asked as she looked back to Shauna, who nodded with a frown. "This ship is flying the colors of Hartstein's naval fleet. Why would they be scared of their own captain?" That question had Shauna snorting softly. "You think just because they're not pirates, that makes them good men?" she asked in a flat tone. Soraya huffed softly before looking back to the ship, and her stomach twisted in nerves as she watched the captain lead Ridley below deck. "Oh boy," Shauna muttered as she straightened up. "Looks like Ridley's about to do some sketchy shit." To Soraya's shock, Shauna walked over to the gangplank and yanked on a length of rigging. The long board immediately shot upwards to a hard 45-degree angle, startling the Hartstein crew along with Soraya. "What are you doing?" Soraya demanded, only to jump in shock at the sound of a pistol being fired. She whipped back around to the other ship and watched a quick but brutal fight break out on the deck. It took a few seconds for her to realize that only half a dozen members of the Hartstein crew were fighting back. The rest had dropped to the deck with their hands empty and in the air, causing the crew of the Wave to pass them by. The fight was over as quickly as it started. Marcus, Corbin, and Cass carving through the few people fighting back with a vicious glee. Moments after the fight had ended and the remaining crew was still sitting on the bloody deck with their hands in the air, Ridley came back up from below. Soraya exhaled sharply, surprised to find herself relieved he was still alive. "Surprised to find you are relieved. I'm sorry, but is this
It's early,
before or
but
after?"
It's early book. It's very early in the book. It's only like 10 chapters in. She's still figuring shit out.
But is this before or after she walks in on him naked in his cabin?
After.
It's after. You're surprised. I'm sorry. That back, that way, the waist, the snatched ass motherfucking waist, and those squeezable butt cheeks. You're surprised. You're relieved. No, I'm sorry, honey. You obviously haven't been bent over a ship's railing, and it shows.
Tonight's
to the
like
book.
saucy.
Back to the book. His sleeve was stained in blood, but other than that, he looked unharmed. He was also carrying the fancy coat the captain had been wearing. She watched in fascination as he walked over to the kneeling crew, speaking too softly for her to hear. The group of them gestured to one of their members, who stood up and approached Ridley slowly. Her eyes widened as Ridley settled the captain's coat onto the man's shoulders, clapping him gently on the arm a couple of times and gesturing to the rest of the kneeling crew. Soraya's shock grew as Ridley turned to the deck stairs he'd just returned from, gesturing for someone to come forward, and over 24 malnourished figures crept warily into sight from below deck. Ah, Shauna hummed, beginning to lower the gangplank once more. What's going on? Soraya demanded, and Shauna just gave her a flat look. I know you're an intelligent woman. Don't tell me you can't piece it together yourself, she scolded, and Soraya immediately felt nauseated. Slave ship, she mumbled, to which Shauna nodded. A Hartstein naval ship with slaves. More common than you think, the doctor grumbled, and Soraya wrapped her arms around her waist as she watched Ridley speak to the crew and the newly released slaves. Eventually, the Wave's crew was back on their own ship, leaving behind the Hartstein vessel that was now flying a very different set of colors and heading in the opposite direction they'd originally been headed. Soraya watched as Marcus and Corbin picked through the supplies the other ship had insisted on giving them as thanks, then looked up towards the helm where Ridley was standing. Heading up the stairs, she studied the content look on the red-headed captain's face, puzzling out which of the 100 questions buzzing through her mind she should ask first. The one at the forefront of her mind was the serious look he'd had when he'd crossed the gangplank, like he'd already known what he was walking into. She's been on this ship for 3 weeks now, and in all that time, she'd never seen him so angry, so intense. Is that how you became a pirate? Soraya eventually asked, watching Ridley glance towards her, then once more drape himself across the wheel. Like the effort of standing for more than 10 minutes was too taxing, and he needed the helm to support him. Taking over a slave ship? Did you break free of your bonds and rise up to rescue your fellow men from servitude? Despite the mocking tone in her voice, or perhaps because of it, Ridley's signature smirk returned, propping an elbow on the helm and resting his chin in his hand to cast that cocky grin up at her. She braced her hands on her hips and fixed him with a flat look, doing her best to hold back a smile of her own, refusing to be charmed by him. My descent into piracy is hardly so glamorous or noble, he assured. I got into a bar fight that ended with several men dead, and had to flee if I wanted to keep my head on my shoulders. Found the first ship heading out to sea that would take on a new crew member without question. Never went back. He shifted, settling more comfortably against the helm as a nostalgic look came over him. Started off as an extra set of hands in the kitchen and spent the next couple of years working my way up the chain. Wasn't long before the captain I was working for was killed and the crew voted me in as leader. Wait, voted? Soraya asked, genuine surprise in her voice. Ridley tilted his head a bit to look at her, expressing curious now, and his grin a bit more honest. Didn't you know pirate captains get elected? She shook her head and he straightened, turning to lean his back against the wheel and fold his arms over his chest. Soraya noted that his elbow was balanced on one of the handles, allowing him to still keep the ship steady even without looking where he was going. Ridley nodded, his grin growing into a genuine happy smile. Captains and quartermasters are both elected by popular vote by the entire crew. A lot of big decisions are put to a vote, honestly, when there's time. Captains and quartermasters are the only ones who make the hard decisions in a pinch or dole out punishment when the agreed upon rules the crew operates by are broken. If you guys are voting into leading and the crew has so much of a say in things, what's the point of a mutiny? She asked, and Ridley laughed, a low, soft tone that flustered her immediately. Mutiny tends to happen on military and privateer ships, where the chain of command is much more rigid, he explained. The entire point of becoming a pirate is to escape oppression. What would be the point of joining a crew where you don't have a say over what the captain makes you do? Soraya was quiet, mulling over this information, and eventually admitted to herself that it made sense. All the tales of cruel pirate captains that abused their crew had come from those who revered the royal fleets and considered working for such ships to be a huge honor. Stood to reason they'd want to paint pirates in such an ugly light. Besides, to flee one oppressor only to end up working for someone equally unfair, but now in an occupation that would get you killed on sight in some places, really didn't add up. She blinked when she realized she'd gotten lost in her thoughts and glanced over at Ridley to see him flashing that cocky smirk once more, which had her flushing in embarrassment and scowling at him in return, only because she wants to see the other side. which, which only made him all the more smug. Thinking Thinking of turning pirate yourself, Menace? He asked, and she snorted, turning away from him to watch the sky turn deeper shades of orange and pink. Absolutely not. Hmm. Yes, I imagine you're eager to get back to land so you can be bossed around by your family. How did you know that storm was coming? She asked, desperate to divert the conversation away from that particular topic. The silence that immediately settled over them was heavy, like he knew she was trying to avoid talking about her family and was weighing whether or not he'd
Giggity.
allow it. I told you, I could smell it, he eventually spoke. I know, but how? Air smells. Sharper, I guess is the best word. The wind came in a bit stronger, turned the right angle, and he paused, looking over at her and lifting an eyebrow slowly, a lazy grin slowly crossing his face. The sudden nervous look she had was like catnip for him. And he leaned forward, resting his chin in his hand and his elbow against the railing around the helm. Why so curious? Are you trying to learn how to do it yourself? Is this part of your plan you're cooking up? What plan? The one where you slip into my bedroom in the dead of night, kill me in my sleep, and take over the ship for yourself, turning pirate to sail all the seas and gather up all the lost treasures of ages with that pretty ring of yours? He said matter of factly, and she turned a flat stare onto him, hands on her hips once more. And what makes you think I want to turn pirate? Maybe I want to steal your ship so I can return to Hortus, she challenged, to which he shrugged, stretching his arms out with a large, dramatic sigh and winking at her. I noticed you didn't argue against the part where you sneak into my room at night, he teased, and Soraya was mortified to feel her face turn hot at the memory of the captain standing naked in his chaotically decorated room. He let out a low, deep chuckle that was not helping her already racing heart, and she tensed when he shifted towards her, standing close enough that his shoulder barely brushed against hers.
Hello, boys.
You're welcome to try. I'll be sure to leave my door unlocked to make it easier for you. Me! Pick me! Pick me! Soraya, you don't want it? Pick me! Sorry. We all know I have a thing for redheads, okay? You're that willing to let me kill you? She asked, aggravated at the waver that was in her voice instead of the acidic bite she wanted. Ridley just smirked, leaning a bit closer so his voice was directly in her ear. If it means having you in my bed, you can try to shank me as many times as you want, he assured. Soraya slammed her boot hard onto his with enough force that she heard a quiet crunch as her heel came down on his toes. She left the red-headed captain hopping around on one foot and hissing in pain, her face beet red and burning up as she did her best to dismiss the lewd images that had immediately flooded her mind.
Oh, it was so much fun coming back to Ridley. I won't lie. It was so much fun.
You you have some requests. When is this coming out?
Okay. It's about 80% written. I've just got a few more things to do. It's probably going to be my next book coming out. I'm not going to set a date because I don't know, but it should be my next book. So hopefully in the next few months. And yes, it will be spicy as hell. It will be smutty as fuck. Because
Well, it
Soraya's
sounds like
stubbornness going on here right now. Yes. Soraya's stubbornness right now, it doesn't last much longer. She's convincing herself and it's not working.
It's not
Also,
working.
just so you're
Gimme my
yeah,
eye candy. Gimme
yeah,
my eye candy.
just so your friend knows what we're working with. Um
I know what we're working with.
don't think yeah, but this is for the Halloween Bride. I don't think I can
I
show
know.
that one.
Yeah, no, not that one.
But this is Ridley. Focus. Focus. Yeah, this is Ridley.
This is Ridley. Yeah,
And
right.
I'll show what I can of the other one. Because he's
Oh, I
got
love
lovely tattoos.
I
Has
love
very
his
lovely
living tattoos. I love
Yeah,
his living tattoos.
he has living, moving tattoos. And I can't
Okay,
go
right
any
there.
lower than
Right
that.
there.
I
Stop.
can't go
Don't move
any lower
anymore.
than that. Yeah, that's it. That's as low as I can go. But this is what Soraya walked in on.
Uh-huh. Uh-huh. Again, if she doesn't want to slip into his cabin in the middle of the night, I volunteer as tribute. I'm just saying.
Oh, I don't know if Izzy saw this one,
Or
but I
Siren, or you can like come join our Discord, which is in the thingamajiggy. You can always mute us, but hang out. Oh yeah. Mm-hmm.
the uncensored version, like the full naked version, is on my Patreon.
Yes, that one's on the Patreon.
Along with lots of other smutty stuff that I absolutely cannot show on here because I will get us
And
flagged so fucking fast.
she will get us flagged very, very fast. But here's okay. So for those uninitiated, hold on, let me bring out the tomes. Bodhi! Bodhi!
I'm working on Bodhi.
So, mafia romance, Hallmark meets Goodfellas. I have 5 of them. This one, I was really like getting into the main character, and I'm still working on it. Okay, I'm working on it. But then she introduced me to Ridley, and I now have a new book boyfriend. I have a new book boyfriend.
Yeah, this is the main mafia guy. This is the scene from the Christmas novella where he's helping his neighbor with her Christmas decorations.
See, and I don't find him attractive, so Jen can have him all to herself. But I like his attitude. I very much like his attitude, and the touch her and you die kind of thing. So yes, it is the red hair. It is the red hair. We have established this. My best friend, when I was in up until 3rd grade, was a redhead. My best friend in high school Redhead.
Still am.
Redhead. Still is a redhead. Okay. Then my baby daddy, redhead. My oldest baby, redhead. Third husband, redhead. My work girlfriend, thanks to Overtone, redhead. I'm just
This is the cover for Scoundrel,
yes, that is
which is actually the scene that I just wrote. Not finished, clearly. It's still in its very rough state, but yeah.
okay. Ad starts in 1 minute,
There's
and then we have
there's
one.
full front and back. There's
That's
the full thing.
that's just beautiful. Char's work is just absolutely stunning. Yes, and Char is in love with Dom as a Julie's Dom as a yeah. So we're just I don't know. I was all keen on Kristoff until he killed Pietra.
I still kind of like him. I won't lie.
Not gonna lie, this is true. Yes, book boyfriends. See, okay, book boyfriends is the closest I can get to true polyamory. Okay, I'm just saying. That's it.
See, I'm in the opposite. I'm in the opposite boat of as an aromantic. Like I don't do boyfriends. I do playmates. It's like no dating, just fun.
I mean, fair.
And we are into the ad. Yay! But once we're
And
out of
with
the ad,
the ad and the comment, I'm
oh, I'm so happy that she got to mine. I was so because the build, the whole thing with the slave ship. Yeah, it was fun. I was waiting for that last little paragraph. I was waiting for that last little bit. But I'm sorry, you can't give me a prompt about someone doing sketchy shit and then have me not write about Ridley. It's like what?
CR.
Why are you yelling at me? Yeah, yeah. As soon as Ridley goes serious, as soon as the playfulness is gone, it's like oh something's happening, something's going down. He's not smiling. That's bad.
Is that why everyone was like away from him because he was mad?
Well, that and they were terrified of the captain because he's not a nice guy.
Okay.
We're just gonna. I'm not. If a fight happens, we're not getting involved.
Yeah, it's been a minute since we've had a Ridley story, so I've kind of like forgotten like some of the
Yeah.
more whatever details.
Jack Sparrow. Jack Sparrow is very much an influence for Ridley, or basically what I wish Jack Sparrow was more like, because the more the books, the more the movies went on, the worse he got. Original first movie Jack Sparrow, very much so. Yes. Definition of morally gray. Because I know, because you're just coming into it. Soraya very much was kidnapped. Soraya is not on that ship willingly. She is there against her will. Hence her threatening to steal his ship and go home.
After the answer after the ad.
Oh yeah, no, Ridley's not misunderstood. Ridley very much is a selfish asshole. Ridley very much is a selfish asshole, 100%. Absolutely, properly, morally gray. Absolutely. Kidnapping? There's nothing wrong with kidnapping. Yeah, perfectly fine with kidnapping. Slavery? Mm-mm-mm.
After that, I needed some after action huffles.
Best action she's
Yeah.
had in a while.
Yeah, I was telling Cash, I was like, the whole thing was fun, but I was especially looking forward to you reading the last little bit. Her leaving Ridley standing up on the helm, bouncing around, holding his crushed toes.
What is up with everybody? Like like either you get my mama bear up, or you get my mama bear up. I'm just saying. I don't know what she's doing over there. I don't know what she's doing over there. I don't want to know. Especially no. Mm-mm. Yes. Apparently we are.
Like I said, this spicy week.
It was a very spicy week, and you
Wait,
would
what is-
think you're
what is she
over
doing?
here doing something like
I'm spanking
this.
the cat. I'm spanking the
You're
cat.
yeah, you better show proof that it's a true feline and not
Yeah,
a different
fair.
kind of cat.
Yeah, that is fair. She likes her butt spanked.
Oh,
I don't know why. She'll bite me if I don't. She'll bite me if I stop.
um,
Ow! Fine. That's fair. Yep. Fair. Y'all are terrible.
Spanking cat.
I believe it's the monkey. Thank you very much that you're supposed to spank. My arm is tired.
No, you can spank the other thing too. I'm just saying. And that's all I'm saying because uh next up.
Okay. No.
Oh god, no, not my work son. Not my work son. Oh shit.
Oh no, that's all the time we have. We gotta go.
Well, if we read this last one, I'm gonna say, and Julie can pop in on the comments here. Um, Julie and I still might get something written for this week, and we could throw it together tomorrow, and we can at
Stavros,
least. Mm,
Stavros did
or
leave.
we.
Stavros did have to leave. She's
Oh,
not here
Stavros
anymore.
did have to leave
So
because we
if
still
we want it, we can wait until tomorrow so she can be here when we read it.
we can wait until tomorrow. Let her read it or hear it being read out, and then if Julie and I also have something, or worst case scenario, we hang out, we have fun, we talk bookish hot topics, whatever, and
Maybe
do some
someone else
hang.
sends something.
Yeah, and normally every single week we have English is suddenly hard.
It's because you got redheads on the brain.
Or because I'm wondering what's under that towel. Anyway, the point
You know
is,
what?
I think yes, Julie, we are ready to roll. Meaning, God, cat hair everywhere. That's what happens when you have a horde of 7.
You have the 7 deadly sins.
I do. The 7 furry sins, which is getting their own series of books, by the way. 7 furry sins are getting a 7-book set of novellas where they are familiars to a set of 7 witches.
That's awesome. Oh yeah, now you're licking. Like you haven't just bitten me 4 times tonight.
Hi, Peppa girl.
It's almost like you have 7 cats. Yes, true, Saren.
40.
40. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 40. 40, 40, 40. Weekly writing prompts. Load. Load, bitch. Okay.
Off my tablet. I know it's warm.
Okay. A character has the ability to make others' dreams come true, but they're running out of time to fix the consequences of their past wishes.
$17.
So we go down to 117. Siren!
Focus.
Number 2, a person discovers that their dreams are actually memories from a past life. What happens when those memories begin to bleed into their waking life?
Oh.
2 dream-related ones. Interesting.
All right. Next roll. Yeah, Patrick almost always starts it.
Don't let her bait you.
51. Starting first line. The attack was over in seconds.
That's it? Ooh, interesting.
Oh, he's just playing coy, Siren. He's just playing coy. He says he starts nothing while he's got his fingers crossed behind his back.
Mm-hmm.
Liar, liar, pants on fire.
Who's sneezing? Who's sneezing?
93, which takes us all the way down to 193. Nope, roll again. We don't have that many on the second start line options.
55.
55. Oh, this one apparently has been picked before this year.
Rolled or picked?
Well, rolled.
Okay.
Rolled. Now remember, prompters, if you do not jive with the name or it does not fit or if it's the wrong gender, fucking change it.
Switch it up.
The last thing Mark remembered was the sound of glass breaking, but now he was standing in the middle of an unfamiliar room with no idea how he'd gotten there. Okay, and then number 2, dialogue. Submitted by our very own fearless leader, Julie DeFisher. Use this dialogue. There's a surprise for you in the garage.
That's
Oh,
a
no.
loaded one after tonight.
Oh no.
All right, last roll there, boss. Oh,
Drop the
shit.
dice.
Well, suddenly there's a 3 somewhere in there. What the frick are you doing?
$39.
There we go. 39. That's what we're going with. 139.
Oh boy.
Sorry, I've been in a scene all day where I've said sofa a couple of times because one of my characters is sitting on a sofa. So use this dialogue. Quick! Hide behind the sofa!
With feeling.
My brain immediately, as soon as you said sofa, my brain immediately added the word king at the end of it.
Sofa king.
All right. You know what time it is. Vote for what you want to write or what you want to hear us write in the next week. Number 1, put a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, or 6 in the comments. Number 1, concept. A character has the ability to make others' dreams come true, but they're running out of time to fix the consequences of their past wishes. 2, concept. A person discovers that their dreams are actually memories from a past life. What happens when these memories begin to bleed into their waking life? Number 3, starting first line. The attack was over in seconds. Number 4, starting first line. The last thing Mark remembered was the sound of glass breaking, but now he was standing in the middle of an unfamiliar room with no idea how he'd gotten there. Number 5, use this dialogue submitted by Julie. There's a surprise for you in the garage. Or number 6, use this dialogue. Quick! Hide behind the sofa.
Wow. For once, it's not an overwhelming majority. We have a 5, a 6, and a 3.
3.
And a 2.
We go all over the board tonight.
Jesus.
We are indeed. Mm. and I just had an idea come to me. So I'm going to say 4. And Julie says 5. Well, hey, it's her submission.
But see, I'm leaning towards 3.
All right, so we are all over the board.
Is there anyone who hasn't voted? Izzy hasn't voted.
No,
Izzy
I
hasn't.
did. I did. I said 2.
No,
Not
yeah,
2,
that's right.
3. 3. Sorry, I said 3.
Siren,
Is it
the Halloween bride, has
Siren.
not voted. Siren.
No, she's down there.
No,
Siren.
Oh, no, she
Siren
did.
says 2.
That's right.
Okay.
So who hasn't?
Okay, so we've got a 5, a 6, a 3 that got changed to a 4, a 2, a
You did.
5, my 3, and
two.
Char, and your 3.
Do I call a wrench?
I
Julie.
mean, at this current moment, the only one that hasn't been picked by somebody is number 1. So overwhelming, that one is off the board. We have a 2-way tie between 3 and 5.
Yeah.
3 being the attack was over in seconds. Wait, no. I said 4 because Mark. My bad. 4. Okay, look. You know what I'm going to do so that we can properly... I'm putting it in the chat so that we can actually see what the hell.
So we have a tie between 5 and 4.
We have a tie between 4 and 5. So the one about Mark remembering the sound of breaking glass, but now he's standing in the middle of an unfamiliar room. And number 5, use this dialogue. There's a surprise for you in the garage. And so what's your idea of a wrench this time, fearless leader Julie DeFisher? Use both because I can do that.
Roll a 6 time and go with whatever it is.
No.
Yeah. I'm not using all of them. I can barely fit 2.
Yeah, we're not using all of them. I do, however, like it when we go, hey, use as many as you want, whichever ones
Yeah.
you want. That's,
Which is
I do enjoy that, especially when the prompts are so diverse that anybody can go where they're coming from. Jesus Christ. I am not going to be able to look her in the eyes come Monday.
Now you got 2 people trolling you in the comments.
That's all right. I do it to a lot of
All right,
other people, so turnabout is fair play.
Julie says both.
Both. All right. So numbers 4 and 5. Number 4 and 5. And just like our lovely captain's explanation of the fact that pirate captains and everything were voted in by the crew, you guys did this. This is y'all's fault. Actually, wait a minute. Let's take it back one step further. Technically, it's Julie's fault because they're her dice.
Yep. Yep.
I mean, all right. So, of course, as we know, in the link of our page here on our channel, there is a website link. You can find the link to our Discord. You can get signed up for our newsletter. You can look at our website, which kind of does need updated. You can also get to our YouTube, where our old shows back from last fall when we started doing Harvest the Words in November, where Crossroads was born. You know, do all the things, see all the things, find the things. Come join us in Discord. I think at this point I have spent enough time with Julie that it's almost as if when Kesh and I were living together. That's how much time it is just compacted into. We're a family. We share with each other ups and downs. We get cooking advice from Julie. Julie also diagnoses car trouble from many, many miles away. So, oh, no. We cannot turn around and blame this on me just because I bought them. Okay, they screamed you.
They've had enough time to get attached to Julie's energy anyway. It doesn't matter who bought them.
I
didn't get them out of the box. I just got them out of the box to make sure that they were good, and I put them back in the box, and I put them in another box, and then I delivered them.
I just heard Yzma in my head.
That did kind of sound like Yzma, didn't it?
That box.
Crank!
Hold that box to myself. And when it arrives, I'll smash it with a hammer. Eartha Kitt's great.
All right, so we're going to go live tomorrow. We may have 1, we may have 2, we may have 3 submissions tomorrow. Of course, if you want to still get it in, our email, sign up for the newsletter, get the email, join the Discord. private message me or Julie from the Discord if you need the newsletter forwarded, and we're good to go. Now, of course, we don't get to have our normal, lovely leader send us off this evening. And while we normally do like to raid, it is almost midnight Eastern time, which means it's almost 1 o'clock. No, sorry, it's almost 11 o'clock my time, almost midnight Shar's time.
I'm
So,
gonna see if there isn't anybody. I'm gonna snoop. We might find someone. I don't know.
oh, Julie says we're setting up the. She's setting up the raid.
Oh, she said I'm great. Excellent. Excellent. Good.
I just know that I am quite a bit wrung out. So, and it's hot in here, and I want to go sit out on my porch.
I'm literally sitting in front of my air conditioner because I'm upstairs,
Look!
and upstairs is so humid.
In my defense, because of my writing tracker and how the easiest way to keep track of everything is to be in 24-hour format, my laptop is in 24-hour format, and I'm tired. Okay.
We got some people. We got Coffee Quills with 26 viewers. We got EJ Sean with 5 viewers. Another indie writer with 3 viewers. Kind of leaning towards that one. We got some people. Yeah, Julie, pick someone who looks like they can use the viewers. We got an ad starting in 5 minutes, so it's a great time to pop off.
Yep, absolutely. All right, so as you all know, thank you for hanging out with us. Technical issues, Izzy flushed cheeks aside.
It was fun.
As always,
So much fun.
Be brave, be bold, but always stay humble. Have a good night. We're heading out for a raid.
Raid us out, Jules.